And then if you went to YouTube, it will come up that you're live and share the link.
All sorted out.
Almost, mate, almost.
It might just take a minute for it to read.
Right, bear with me, Sasha.
What?
Bear with me for a second, mate.
Okay.
Do you know what you do? Synth, so I think.
The stream URL, can you send me that? And I'll
Look,
go on.
copy, paste. It's not that. I'll try it. I'm just trying to share the link around, Sasha, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Just say when.
Just waiting for something. We should have.
Hang on, I just got a message that the SAE's gone live. Oh, that's not.
Did I get one? Videos. See, look, live now. That is what I was waiting for. You know? Oh yeah, I know. That's why I've got this email set up there, so I can just send it to everybody.
Hang on, I just got a message that the SAE's gone live. Oh,
Name, and click. Okay.
Cool, thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Sasha, whenever you're ready, you can start. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you have a beard. Oh yeah.
Okay. So let me introduce myself. I'm from Serbia, and I have been always having a talent for drawing and tattooing and all other things. But in the days in Serbia, that wasn't much of you cannot have lots of money out of it. So basically, I do everything except that.
Yeah.
So actually, to be a little bit short, I started with tattooing guys, making templates, making illustrations for designs for tattooing. In those days, they're bringing me lots of money. I started doing also the comic book drawing, but I kind of feel bored with it. So I had a little bit of pause. I always been a storyteller, and that keeps me, strengthened. So basically, my first job in CGI was in Dr. Freud's studio. But there is one anecdote. When I saw first time I saw the program ZBrush. Before that, I was illustrator and a concept artist without money. Yeah. So I watch on the YouTube the magnificent works of Mihai Daranga. The lots of guys were doing such a fast, character designs, monster designs, and all other things. And basically, I was then 19 or 21, and that's the days when I got the internet actually, and I couldn't just realize how fast they can do it. So I stole ZBrush from. I didn't have money. So the crack was the program was cracked. Basically cracked. Actually, you can do it anything you like, but you you could not save the OBJ, ZTL, or anything else. So I try and I had an experience with the clay and all other things. So I try to use actually that kind of speed that they are using. So I was quickly, doing blockouts and all other things, and in somewhere in 2 months, I was very good. So one day I was watching something on internet and studio Dr. Fried, which were doing cinematics, commercials, and all other things. Were looking for a 3D modeler. Okay, so I go there and I said, I can model fast, but optimization, topology, UV mapping, texturing, I do not know anything about that. And there was looks, okay, do something. Do us Nikola Tesla, please. Just like a test. So I told them, can I do it here? They was like, okay. I take 2 or 3 or 4, references, and I did base mesh in 2.5 hours, which is for their standards. Then it was amazing. So basically, they were like, okay, we will giving you a job. And for the optimization and for the UV mapping and for all other things, you will learn it by time. My first salary for that Nikola Tesla, which I made it for 2.5 hours, were 500 euros. There was no negotiation, Okay, you done it. Here's the money, and that's the first time I ever saw a bill of 500 euros. So that was amazing, that's 4 regular salaries here in Serbia. So actually I was so thrilled, so full of, energy and all other things. So basically I continued work there. I would like to share screen. Just give me a moment. Yep, I forgot again where it is.
It's down the bottom right, Sasha.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's down by the heart at the bottom right where the 2 screens are.
Snapshot, the That's fine.
So at the bottom right of my screen, like when you're looking at Skype, there should be like a little heart icon.
Yeah.
And then just right beside it, there's 2 little screens.
Yeah. Start recording. Yeah, there is no share screen in.
Should be.
Yeah, it says start recording, turn subtitles on, blur my background, turn off in current video.
You did it just 10 minutes ago.
There was some kind of update of Skype, and everything is messed up. So
let me see. So mine has share screen on the bottom right hand side. I guess I could.
I find it.
Hey.
Oh my God! Just let me check. Did I change the something?
No, it's working now.
Just a moment, please.
We can see all of your emails.
Yes. I changed the anatomy. stuff.
I had to ask him to.
Okay, so just give me a second. First of all, I would like to go to my first touch with the ZBrush. As you can see, this is hours and hours of just playing with the ball inside of the ZBrush, and I was just like, this is such a fun. I just wanted to know more. I just wanted to see what's going on, and just give me a moment. No, that's not that. Yeah. Just a moment, please. Brushes. So anyway, I cannot find it. So slider, yeah,
You were supposed to
slider,
be ready,
yeah.
Sasha.
I find it. So you see this? There is an 8 years of working to this. This is actually King Bukashin for Pagan Online that I did. I was in 8 years. I was executive 3D artist for Madhead Games. I stopped working with the cinematics because the retopology and optimization for it was so boring for me and killing me creatively. So I just stopped doing it. So actually, that's that, and this was also from the first days of mine. And as you can see, even if I didn't know what am I doing, I even gave them the names and all other things, and I just make the stories about that. Even now, when I'm making the characters, every single character, every single monster, every single asset of for gaming, for cinematics that I make, either for concepts, either for in-game, it must have a backstory. So this is that one, and the last one was this. I was preparing a Kickstarter, Dwarfs of Swargard, and I'm making these monsters, but not just actually dwarfs like everyone else sees them, but with the language they have their own language, which is pronounceable, of course, with lots of bunch of creatures, bunch of also there is a humans. So basically, those four pictures I have showed you. Even this woodman behind, he's made 2 months ago for purposes of concept art and for in-game. One art director decided that he should be more like human, so I keep this for myself, and I placed it on art station. So actually, that's that. You probably saw something on my. I have what? Yeah. Something on my ArtStation profile. I mix a lots of things, especially realistic stuff and stylized stuff, because I think in a few years the modelers who will be stranded just for realistic modeling will be obsolete. We are witnesses about a bunch of programs that actually give you the perfect anatomy, and you just, hanging and playing with the heads. Even the heads, there is a 3D scan. If you need something, you just pick it up or buy or something. But the stylized stuff, you can never have a good algorithm that can make stylized model. So basically, I just mix bunch of stuff, and the most of the stuff on our station that you can see, it's my personal work. It's actually going vice versa. If I waited for a project that I was on, and if I waited for a project to be, placeable on ArtStation, I would wait for a long time. So basically, this is mostly my personal work that is actually sold afterwards. so I like to mix. I like to mix realistic stuff with the stylized stuff. This is. Just give me a moment. There is one exhibition here in Belgrade of Ivan Meštrović. That's my favorite sculpture. So I was inspired by his work. So I made this Samael, the fallen angel, and in a few days I will cast it. I have a Form 2 3D printer, so basically I will make the sculpture out of it. It's a big fun. So this is Musa, one of the heroes of the Balkan songs and stories and all other things. Also, I will. In one time, I was fascinated by the fact that in this area here, especially on Balkan, Bosnia, Serbia, especially in Serbia, Croatia, there was a lot. The most of the Roman emperors were born here. But also there was lots of other tribes, such as Tribali. Those were the people who were here before Romans, before Slavs, before everyone. There was a names, there was some kind of a stories, and I just add something to it. This is, for example, King Badul. Which is he was very old and killed in the battle against the King Philip of Macedonia. So this is Perun versus Veles. I like to do sometimes this kind of stuff. This is also Sirmos, Tribali chieftain, one of the kings. He is actually a son of the old guy I showed you the last time. This is Hales, king of Tribali. Actually, if you see this helmet, I did we actually have this kind of a golden helmet here. I saw it in the museum. So I made myself, I wanted to make a replica. So basically, he maybe never wear it, but I just put it over there. So you saw the stylized Superman Red Sun, and in my classes here in Belgrade in Creative Studio, I was showing them modeling and differences between realistic and stylized modeling for cinematic, for game, for everything. If you know how to know your anatomy. When you do stylized stuff, you can know what can you exaggerate, what can you not, So basically, that's it. And I think you know this guy. This is the guy from my favorite comic book from. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook. Bjorn Comics. It's like Bjorn or something. And this is the one guy who was I was working for the video game that was a performer, 2.5D shooter, something like shoot many robots. And I find I collect most of the time references how I would like the character to look like. So I choose Robert Knapper and just make the character. So that's one time I was fascinated by the series of the Strain. If you watch it, about vampires and all other things. I don't know if you watched it, but never mind. And I was fascinated by the strong characteristics of the characters itself. So I made them in something like Disney Infinity kind of stuff. There's a bunch of them, and this is the mechas I was making for Beth. One of my colleagues told me that because I'm working for I'm working for characters, organic modeling, and all other things, I would never make something like hard surface mecha or something. So I did it in purpose. So actually, I liked it. So this is a character I worked for Pagan Online. It's on wargaming. You can download it. It's based on Slavic mythology. This is the in-game model. This is the concept. This is the high poly model, and this is me and the guy who were working on it. There was a little bit of chance for me and him to pick a fight, but everything went well. So.
Sasha, did you do the concept work for that on your own as well?
Excuse me, I could not hear you well.
I'm just wondering, did you do the concept work on the last character that you showed us? The 2D?
Actually, 2D character for this I was named that Boris Nemesic work, but actually this we were working together.
Okay.
If you remember, when I was executive 3D artist, I was making a symbiosis of 2D and 3D artists, because we have lots of problems with 2D work and 3D work. There was some forms on paper that cannot be done in 3D because of the perspective, because of the three dimensions and all other things. So basically, we were working together to make something that will work. So actually, on the 2D, on this particular 2D concepts, I was working with Boris Nemesic, but Boris Nemesic did the 60% of it. And also some drama. I did lots of mythological creatures from Tales from Balkan. This is also, I was working some kind of a project Howler, Exodus. I worked it with my good friend Maja Ćosić. She is a photographer. Actually, I was just taking her photography and just make the creatures and make the renders. I feel kind of fun to just, you know, make that kind of a symbiosis between you know, a realistic stuff with the photography and creatures that I made. This is some kind of blob. I don't even know what it is. This is Janos Hunyadi, one of the heroes. They were asking me. I had a client who were in Belgrade government. They wanted to make a statue of this Janos Hunyadi or Sibinjan Janko. He was a defender of Belgrade against the Ottoman Turks. Those are the references, but some kind of, I don't like this kind of, it's like a girl with a mustache, so I make him a little bit of masculine, and they liked it, but in the meantime we changed the government, so that's that. This is Shumik, one of the creatures from the Slavic mythology that is dwelling in the forests. I often speak with my daughters. We talk fairy tales, we imagine things. So this is the result. This actual result of that. This is the famous Baba Yaga. She is based on a concept of a magnificent Petar Veselđija, if someone knows him. He's an illustrator. So this is the process. This is the sketch with the chicken legs and all other things. This is high poly with just you know, gradient, with just gradient and. Okay, ignore this. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit disturbing.
I can't
figure it out. So we have two opinions because I was fascinated by one movie, especially the series of the Strain, the vampires, and actually, this is the part where I'm preparing the true book of vampires. Actually, what it means to be a vampire. The word of vampire is origins from Serbia. First recorded vampire was from here. Romanians doesn't have a word for vampire. They have a word strigoi. So this is actually a work of witch initiation made by the proto vampire. If you want me to skip it, I will skip it. It's not that explicit, believe me.
No, it's okay. If it's in the name of art, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
really cool.
We will skip it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's really cool. It's fine.
Okay. There is one legend. There is one cave in southeastern Serbia where the proto vampire lives, and all the witches or the women after the 40s are, if they want to you know, have that kind of powers, they have to make sex with that kind of a vampire, and then they have marks on them, and they have that magical words, basmas.
Don't you guys in Serbia have any nice tales to tell? Like leprechauns, like us in Ireland.
Yeah. Leprechauns. Yeah, there's one.
That's as good as it gets, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good as yeah. So this is the plague actually in Serbia and actually in all Balkan lands. That's the same language. They call it truma, but actually it's plague. I was trying to make this kind of blobs. I don't know how you call this kind of
like spots.
yeah, disgusting stuff. And I was trying to make the rat-like face, since the rats are spreading the plague. So actually, that's the one of the characters.
Can you speak a little bit about your inspirations for that kind of organic work? So, for instance,
Yeah, I will speak with, but I don't want to sound very weird to your students. Actually,
I think it's too late, Sasha.
Actually, my grandmother was a witch. So I mean, not actually the witch that you think it's witch. It's most likely the healer of the village. She knows all about the medicine medicines, making the medicines out of the herbs and all other things. Also know curses. Also know how to do lots of stuff. And she's the first storyteller and the first concept artist. I could say that I met. A few times she told me everything about I should know about vampires. We all know from the brilliant Bram Stoker the vampire, such as cloaked Bela Lugosi and welcome to my home, children of the night, and all other things. But
you've got the perfect voice.
but actually there is a 23 species of vampires. Most of them cannot directly harm people, but proto-vampire, it's actually a blob full of blood with one fang, something like a big worm. And if you're bitten, you're becoming a vampire. There's lots of ways to become a vampire. If you're a bad man while you live, you can become a vampire. If you're, God forbid, dead, and when they are, we have a lots of tradition about death and all other things all the way in Serbia, even in 21st century. The dead guy must be guarded for 3 days, or such a thing.
Fuels your character work, yeah.
Yeah, but this Truma, there is a legend that every period of time there is a stranger that comes in one village and spread disease. So they never called it plague like plague, but they called it Truma. The Serbian word for plague is actually Truma. So there's lots of stories about them, and somehow, maybe on purpose, maybe just everybody started to lock themselves into the house and cleaning, and that's the way how they actually basically saved themselves from last plague in Serbia was in 1234. So actually, this is the concept I made, because I made a lot of eyes on her because she see everything, and I say she, but it. Okay. So basically, that was the inspiration for me to make this kind of a character for cinematic purposes and all other things. Yeah, this is okay. This is also some kind of mecha. I often use 3D Max for parts and all other things, but for these particular parts, I use KeyShot for rendering and beauty shot and all other things. Also, I use the photography of outskirts of Belgrade and use this some kind of a guarded robot or something.
Can you speak a little bit how you match your colors from 3D to your backplate?
Well, actually, it's a bit easy because in KeyShot there is a lot of. To be honest, I do optimization with topology, UVing, and all other things when I'm working for cinematics and in-game and all other things. But when I'm working for my personal, satisfaction, I do everything to not block me creatively. Actually, on this robot there is two materials. There's one material that is actually greenish or something like that, without much of glossiness or all other things. And there is a second one. There's a second one which is material that I made in KeyShot, something like silver with patina. So basically, I take the lights from the pictures and use it to render the passes for a particular character that I'm want to present. Rest is just for beauty shotting. I just erase the parts where revealing the metallic parts, which is under the green stuff, So somewhere I put rust on overlay, and rest is color correction in Photoshop, and basically that. Yeah, this is also some kind of a kit bashing. I did helmets and all other things. I find some old band from in the internet. I think they're called author of photography was it's Blue Studio. And photographer was Sam Mogadam, whatever. So actually, I used it just for making this kind of stuff. I just make the helmets, and rest is just added in Photoshop just for the purposes of Principus unit. I named it Principus unit because of Gavrilo Princip. You probably heard about Gavrilo Princip, the killer of the Franz Ferdinand, and that when the First World War started. I made also the lore for it. There was an actually creed of assassins in Serbia called Black Hand. So I used that kind of lore to just place it in 1996, and I feel I really liked it, so why not? And this is one of my favorite stuffs that I ever made, because Darksiders was one of my favorite video game I ever played. This is actually redesign of, if any one of you have played Did anyone play the Darksiders? Okay. So the death is dying, going into the well of souls and all other things. But what if we never will be, creative enough if we didn't ask, what if? What if somehow the death itself resurrected? How could he look like? So I made this. I'm probably he would pick up some skeleton from the well. I used and actually there is one Sergio Sanchez and a few other guys who's actually working on a design for the original death for Darksiders. They told me that he break his mask at the end of the game. So I was just planning what kind of a face would Death have. I used some of the references. Few of them are actually from the game. This is, everybody knows this guy. I hate him. And this is the Death I did few years ago. And I somehow decided to present it without eyes, because that itself, it's everybody is equal to the death. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be child, you can be anything else. So basically, I was concentrating on that kind of parts. Just make it without eyes, and the mask itself having those holes for eyes, just for So actually, this is full with a full, actually not full, but basic armor, basic gear.
I like the way you call that basic.
Yeah, basically, I mean, there is a much more of there is a not much more, but few of them. This is the basic actually. So actually, he have that ponytail. I imagine him drained somehow. I imagine him with a lot more hair on it. But I messed up because I placed it with the mask. So Brian Jones actually told me that you should make him without the mask. He destroyed at the end of the Darksiders 2. So if he was resurrected, he would have it. So okay, let's place it on a belt or something. So often I like to make I make what actually he is in the game, and I make the redesign and put it one beside each other, just to see what kind of is there lots of similarities. Did I did a good job? For example, from the left side, we can see he's a little bit of bulky, and from the right side, we can see that that he's drained out and all other things, and somehow I found this madcap somewhere, and I really liked it. I don't know why, but I must put it over there. So okay, this is from the strain. This is the master. I don't want to so this is the character creation process for a stylized game of Trenches. I did it for eRepublic Labs. Actually, it's First World War. We can obviously see this is the German soldier, and this is the Russian. And actually, I decided, because except the Russian, every single other guy will actually have the same body. So basically, we will change actually head and gear on a head, helmets, gear, weaponry, and all other things. This is this is actually I was trying to make the female character, but somehow Romanians doesn't want a female character in their game. I don't know why. So this is the Emperor Wilhelm, Austro-Hungarian soldier, and this is a British soldier, something. So also this is some kind of my representation of to the clients of King Wilhelm, and this is the French guy. I forgot the name of him. This guy hasn't any.
Sasha,
Yeah?
can you speak a little bit about how you're lighting these and whether you're using Keyshot for this a lot, or are you using 3D Max
Yeah.
with decimated characters?
Yeah, it's much more quickly to represent to the clients what do you want to do in Keyshot, especially if you have colors and all other things. All you can see here is a basic. It's a basic vertex paint or poly paint in ZBrush. In Keyshot, it's very, 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 very easy to choose one of the HDR or maybe make the lights for yourself. Just give me a moment, please.
Sounds like there's trouble in the kitchen. Too many cooks.
Hey guys. So actually in Keyshot, the client, if he wants, this is all high poly. If he wants some changes to be done, it's much more easy to just shift on ZBrush and make the changes, bring them back to Keyshot with one click. Actually, ZBrush and Keyshot has a bridge, and Keyshot just, you don't need UV, you don't need nothing here. Just place the color, what color you choose in ZBrush. Actually, he even have subtools. So basically, when I'm working for a client and he for this particular person, he just I want Russian, but I don't want communist Russian. I want a Russian that is Russian, but and I was like, okay, probably Kozak or something, Taras Bulba or something, and on my luck, I passed. On this particular character, he could be, he should be protagonists, but they're just a little bit. They just wanted to have a soldier which you want to, having a gear on him and all other things. So, but I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about the composition. Actually, this is also high poly with the same ambient as those guys. Just I made the rim light blue on a back, and it's not that kind of a I will just give me a moment. I will turn it on just to. You don't need actually to make a bunch of stuff like inserting geometry, then giving them this is the light. Actually, you can. Okay, this is the last guy I worked on.
So just really quickly, Sasha,
Yeah.
have any of you guys here ever heard of or used Keyshot? Have you guys heard of it? Yeah. So Sasha, could you give? Oh, look, you've got out of memory issues. Can you just give a quick overview of what Keyshot is used for, and why you choose to use it?
No problem. I just wanted to
Yeah, just get a scene open, right?
I use the Keyshot 7. There is a Keyshot 9, but I just used to it. This is the Goblin Elder. I was working for Kickstarter. For example, this is all poly paint and everything I did here. I mostly did in ZBrush. And if you can see from this right side, every single part from this guy actually have its place over here. So I choose Keyshot 7 because there is a lot of materials that I made by myself, and I'm too lazy to shift it back to number 9. But number 9, Keyshot number 9 is just same thing. Just there, put the grass in it.
Yeah, so like more bells and whistles.
Yeah. So here we have an environment, and here we have an environment. So there is a bunch of environments that you can choose from. Let's find someone that is a little bit darker or something.
All black 4K.
So actually, we can just I choose the background color to be gray or something like that. So if I want rim light, I go here, HDR editor, and just click here, add pin. So basically I was brightness to the pits of hell. Just give me a moment. Size, where radius.
So do you use quite a small light so that you get a sharp rim light, and then put the intensity up quite high?
Yeah, actually, for each one of the lights here, you can just made it brighter. Radius, as you can see, you can just shift it, and you can easily see it on your model. What kind of where will it be? In the most cases, guys, I rarely put renders in Keyshots. For example, if I'm making if I'm making a character for a client that he wants to know what's happening, I don't click render and put I don't know 7,000 by 680 and then render, and he said, well, I don't know, I don't like this skull or something. Actually, I just print screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just wait for a second because he's actually non-stop rendering. So actually, I would just print screen, put it back into the Photoshop, did a little bit of overpaint if needed or something, but mostly it's not, and that speeds things up a lot more than So that's the part where I mentioned on the beginning symbiosis between 2D and 3D.
Mhm.
I could draw it, for example, on a paper and doing the 30 concepts and all other things and bunch of stuff. But I personally enjoy to model it. I'm sorry. For my students, first thing I taught them to do is to do base mesh, and that is head, torso, uh, palms, hands, and feet. And I teach them how to make, to resemble on, not actually Michelangelo David, but in proportions to be fine. So actually, from that kind of and then I made them to slice up that base mesh. I mean, slice up the arms, slice up the feet, that kind of stuff that is repetitive. When you are doing stuff in ZBrush, especially organic modeling and all other things, you do everything just to not do the repetitive stuff. You're just focusing on the story behind the character. I don't know, sword or something, and results are amazing. So I had in the Crazy Studio. This was my first class. I had 20 people, and actually they were amazed because most of them are first. That's the first time they actually saw ZBrush. Okay, I'm lying. There is 4 guys who doesn't give a that, but so actually, what am I doing next? I often use the scenery. I put it on scenery. For example, this kind of a character or something. I put it on scenery and just look what kind of appearance will be in some just give me a moment. The lights were and okay, forget about this.
Is that where did you generate the scenery?
I stole it from the net, but I have as I told you, I showed you from the Unreal Engine. I have lots of scenery that I use for actually this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is the goblin. I made the material for 3D printing and all other things, so I didn't bothering coloring it or something. It will be actually this size, actually, something like that. And let me see if I have here. Yeah, this is the Lesbos scene. These parts, I'm showing you the characters I made from for Kickstarter that I am trying to that I will wanted to do. It all started with that guy, if you remember, the dwarfs that is taking the big guy on the chain, if you remember. So I made that big guy. So I wanted to show them what kind of a lore we can make from it. If you don't have lore, you have nothing. So basically, this is the giant from the, obviously, male giant from the right side, and this is the matriarch, female giantess, and this is a human slave. For this particular stuff, I don't make. Later, I will show you. I will show you the colored version of the giant and all other things. But for now, I will just like for the clients and for all the things. This kind of a representation is practically most. It's much better because he can give you suggestions for coloring and all other things, and I often use the grayscale. And this is Dwarven Iron Legion, actually, that will. And I'm planning just 16 of them will be one unit. This is the captain, and this is the. Actually, every single one of them, well, not basically every single one of them, but mostly have similar parts, and that's the part where I tell you don't use the okay, sorry. Don't do repetitive stuff. If you're doing something simple for a very long time, you are doing something wrong. And if you're doing something and you're feeling bored, just step out of the computer, go on some sites, go rest, and everything else will be fine. And now I will show you the.
So you're talking about reusing pieces there, Sasha, yeah, like in a modular workflow for environments.
Yeah. Just give me a moment. In-game splash screens, yeah. Yeah, so
if you tell them a little bit about the backstory for Svargard.
Yeah, the backstory for Svargard. As I understood, you want to hear the backstory of Svargard.
It would be great for the students to hear that, just to show the emphasis that backstory and lore has on creating characters.
Yeah. Actually, I used lots of Slavic and Baltic mythology. Slavic mythology is a little bit known, but it's something like 40% of Nordic and Baltic mythology. For example, I use protagonists dwarves. There is one god creator that is named Svarog. He's a heavenly smith, and he was stomping with his big hammer on a holy stone of Alatir, and from that sparks that are just they'll make gods. There's a Perun, there is lots of gods, Darthbog, there is 3 sparks that are emerged, and that's Boki, Bjarn, and Brusk. And those 3 guys are actually forefathers of 3 tribes of dwarfs. We have Bokvallers, we got Bjarnvarskers, and each one of them respect their forefathers. So actually, that's actually story about that. Just ignore this health bar here. This environment is done in Unreal Engine. As we talked last time, this is the mistake because we don't have any, reflections and all other things, but it will be fixed. We have time. If we have some, we have time. So this is the second one, and I have one for a giant because I always wanted to make. Just give me a moment, please. Slider. Oh my God. Creatures. No. Renders. Okay, splash renders. Yeah. And this is the color giant. I made a few. All the environment are also done in Unreal Engine, but somehow it was a little bit dull. So I make a little bit colorful. The colors on the giant are poly painted, and later on I just add a few, just fixes in Photoshop. So basically, I'm very big fan of God of War. So for each one of the I'm planning actually for each one of the species and the races. There is a story behind them, and there is lore behind them, and there is a bunch of stuff. There's actually one guy who his name is Spiridon Giannakis, and he told me, okay, guy, this is everything is cool. I just wanted to make. We're in Europe, we're LGBT, very tolerant, and I just tell him, dude, I'm really sorry, but I cannot make two dwarfs kissing each other. But there is something else. How about matriarchs? So he asked me what. For example, we have a. I'll show you now. We have actually. Just give me a moment. This is the continent I draw. There is no. Just in a few places there is stuff I use from Google Earth, but actually this every single mountain, every single stuff I made by hand. I named them, and for Svargar, all the creatures, everything is settled here on this part of continent and some part of this far north. So actually, I was trying to make a female dwarf, and that was a little bit of a challenge. Not even a Tolkien himself would. I think he mentioned it twice, and the problem was beard. So actually, I was thinking something, and I was like, why don't we make sideburns or something? So this is Getter Vjurmerda, or in their language, dwarven female. This is the first one I made. There's also bunch of them. This is High Council. The Mundsvagar. Mundsvagar means all king. Every 100 years, all the three tribes elect one to rule for 100 years. And if there is some kind of dispute or something, I'm speaking you about the lore, not the story. It's changeable. but it is very helpful for you to make a particular character. I'm just speaking to you about lore just for for example, this is the warship Menbatar Strumpvatete, son of Mul. He's famous for he likes to cut heads of goblins. He's a guardian of Freakstal mines or something like that. That's his story. This is from Vjörnburt, Windbeard. Nobody knows. He comes from north. Somehow he has some weird gun-like stuff on his back, and nobody knows. He comes and he goes. There is much lore about him, but I don't want to bother you now with it. And this is Nidalin, Magursbane, son of Gardoin. Magursbane means he is actually killed in one battle 30 Magur giants. I really don't like stereotypes in the names, actually, for using like giants, goblins, orcs, or something like that. For example, in this case, they are giant-like proportions, but they are Magurs. Their name is Magurs or something like that. So he's famous for that. There is a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and also this is the lineup. I often make the lineup of the characters I made because in this case I see either is there any mistakes in proportions, is there any mistakes with scale, design continuity.
Was this done in? Was this rendered in Keyshot as well?
Yeah. I'm already planning to do 3 guys game ready, but for this purpose, and I have a very short time. I'm just doing it in high poly because I need to place them on in my 3D printer just for Kickstarter purposes. Soon enough, I will show you the full process of how can I make stylized texturing in Substance, stylized realistic, or other things. We will have time when we start all over again. Just this is the there is one. I forgot to mention that there is in the south there is one tribe of huntresses, dwarven females, something like Amazon, if you know.
Be careful how you describe
it,
Sasha.
Yeah. What?
We have our conversations, me and Sasha. The way he describes these guys, the dwarven girls, is not exactly politically correct.
I'm not familiar with the political correctness. I don't know what can I say and not. Okay. Just I want to show you I want to show you something. Is this politically correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
The game is the game. I said it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is the that one. Those guys are eunuchs. I mean, they know how to do it. They see all day how to do it, but they cannot do it. So basically, this is the main main hunter. I mean, the chieftain, and she have 3 wives. So I asked the Giannakis, is that okay? That's gay limit for me. I don't have anything in purpose. I have a few friends that are gays, but somehow I have a problem because the lore is mine, and somehow it doesn't fit in the lore that I. Well, we have another continent. Who knows what can be done there? So actually, that's that. I have for file. Just give me a moment. Renders. Yeah. This is Anirata the Huntress. She's also lesbian. Is that politically correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay, she is the first wife of Chieftain, great warrior and huntress. She's a warlord of all Gradens. That's the name of the tribe. Daughter of Guna, the witch, mother and mentor of numerous Gwender's dwarfs. What happens with the guys, you ask? Well, every single dwarf, female dwarf, she have a child in her. Two daughters or one son or two sons and one daughter. And so when the guy grows up, he passed the rite of passage. She choose the female choose him. They mate, and he's cast out from the tribe. But he assimilates with the other tribes of Bokvargers. So this is Anirata. This is the stumper infantry of Bokvarger, strong and brave infantry, blah blah blah. They're disposable. And this is King Brugmund bin Murzwager. He is the old king. You saw him. And this is the Bjarmasken Iron Legion, discipline and one of the vastest armies of the dwarves in Old Sparga. You saw them on one renders in the key shot I showed you. You see this. And this is Dumpalbirg, Archsage of Sacred Fire. As Sacred Fire is the sacred fire that means from the sparks of Svarog's hammering the holy stone of Altir. They also have. I choose that they have some kind of a religion or cult or something. You saw this guy, and this is the chieftain of the lesbian tribe of the female tribe. Yeah, this is also veteran warriors. They're something like Praetorian guards. And this is Brcko and Jogsvarn. Story behind him is a little bit simple because all things is I decided is about that element which is freak style. That's not metal, that's not mineral, but it has some kind of a mysterious powers and all other things. Some of them are discovered, some of them are not. There's a bunch of dwarfs that are loners, and this guy here, he discovered that that kind of element can revive stone and metal and all unliving stuff. So that's him. You saw this guy, you saw this guy. Yeah, this is the same guy, just different helmet. I mean, those are the dwarfs.
Can you touch upon so when you're working on organic sculpts and then you do some accessories, like so some of our students here that are working on characters, they're doing organic sculpts that have hard surface accessories. Could you give maybe a little demo as to how you would approach doing a hard surface accessory?
You mean? Do you want me to model you a stylized sword now, or do you want me to tell you how?
No, like realistic. So we've got two characters here, two character artists here in class that are working towards doing realistic organic sculpts one is kind of like an alien type character, the other one is kind of like a boar. But we're talking about going into their accessories now and having armor, but it's going to be realistic armor. And I see some of your hard surface sculpts that you've done, like some of the mech stuff. If you could,
Yeah,
maybe
I
help
have.
with, like, how you do,
I
how
have
you do your
here.
panel work in that.
Well, this is not actually an armor. I just wanted to make the Assassin's Creed big, Great War, so I made this character. There is no armor here. You mean realistic armor? For example, this.
Yeah.
Actually, this is T-shot. But in I usually did this kind of stuff. I did in Substance Painter. I even have my own smart materials. And as you all know, it's done with masks, with the blurring masks and cavity, not cavity masks, but
The
oh my
edge
god,
So like the curvature maps.
curvature map, yeah.
So, but
And lots of tweaking and lots of
but to
that
achieve
kind
the
of.
hard surface look that you get, without using the shaders, can you speak with a little bit on how you produce each individual hard surface shape?
You mean you want me to model now? Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you could give us a little demo, that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just I want to say this. This is a bunch of patterns I did in 3D Max.
Yeah.
And I make a library for it.
So you make your base meshes for the hard surface in 3D Max,
Yeah,
and then bring them in. And
exactly. When I make as I make organic characters, I have libraries of hands, feet, so all other things, and I basically just basically just focus on the head and the concept and silhouette.
Okay. Yeah, because we were speaking to that effect the other day, yesterday, and I think it was yesterday. Myself and one of my students, Rebecca, she is doing an organic sculpt of an alien. And it's going to have some armor on it as well. And we were wondering about the best way to approach it because she's done some like quite decent sculpts, but was struggling to get the panel work. So when you use alphas for vents and stuff like that.
For that particular case, there is a bunch of stuff that you can use. If you use it in ZBrush, there is two ways to do it. At least I'm doing it. For example, on this witch, this part over here, I just masked out from the shoulder. I in the deformation panel, I make polishing move tool often.
Yeah.
And practically that's it. I mean, I don't know what kind of design you want. If there is some time that you need to decimate your design, but not on worse, but to find a better design. If that's the thing that I say a moment ago. If you're doing something that you think it will be very easy to be done, and you're doing it for a long time and it's not good, you just stop. You're doing something wrong. Actually, basically that's that. Just let me find one. Okay, this one over here.
So all of the shapes that you've got there on that,
like,
especially around the head, where you've got where one panel meets another, are you sculpting that or are you modeling that?
I sculpted mostly. I sculpted in the ZBrush just to find you know the story about this guy. So I will So I make this cobra-like without arms, of course. I always do first head, torso, abdomen, and hips. So when I did that, I often use the them standard just to make where are the muscles, where and decimate it and placed it in 3D Max. Placed it in 3D Max. So basically, I already had those stuff, Greebles and all other things.
So
I had this. I already had that. In ZBrush, I already had this one piece of stomach armor. I just duplicated. And one thing I want to also tell you, it is very important technical stuff to be known. But if you creative stuff is if you are mastering the creativity, your technical skills will be much more proficient because you will know how to do something on much easier way and to have a better design. And also, if you want to make something, you must first think what do you want to make. For example, this is the Cobra 0101, and this is for this is the same mesh. Just this is the same mesh, just without these colors and in front. So basically, I was just following. There is the muscles here on the neck, so I put there.
So you're using the mechanical shapes to echo what the actual anatomy is.
Yeah. And when I had no job, when I'm bored and something, I often use 3D Max to make greebles, use 3D Max to make pipes, to use 3D Max to use, I don't know, panels and all other things. So basically that. And do you know what this is?
No.
That's the same. That's the same mesh as I showed you the last. But just this was upside down.
All right.
And I just added another head.
I particularly like the way you present them as well. So you've got like this mathematical paper with print on it, and then some.
Yeah. With the stains of coffee and all other things. And that's the point. Actually, all of those. That's actually one mesh. For the sake of concept and for the sake of creativity, if you're representing this to the client, if he said, I don't like the previous guy. Just a moment. I don't like the previous guy. I don't want to be, Cobra-like. I will really like to have something like elephant, Fifth Element stuff, or other things. It is possible from this to make a robot just adding the legs, and there's no problem. So that's the symbiosis between 2D, 3D, and using the software as using the all kinds of softwares, just not to suffocate your creativity. Retopology can be learned. UV mapping can be learned. Texturing can be learned, but never in history, nobody can make you and teach you how to be creative. That's, I don't want to say a law, but that's actually a fact.
I'm so glad you said that, Sasha, because I teach that to my students quite a lot, and I think, they do believe it, of course, and they feel it when they're working, but it's good to hear it echoed by another artist that works in the industry, because it can be hard, right? I mean, can you talk a little bit about how maybe sometimes you get frustrated with creativity?
Yeah, just one more thing. Don't, for example, about feedbacks. When I started, I had a lots of ego and lots of my ego was like I don't know 3 houses tall. And actually, when I meet someone who was 30 million times better than me, he gave me a few advices about some sort of stuff. It was very short, and you must every single artist, 3D artist, 2D artist, must know as long as you are live and as long as you're working that, you are learning. So basically for me, I have 4 kids. Their biggest criticism, they give me the most, cruelest feedbacks ever. Because for example, at least the older one, because they still don't have that kind of unspoiled imagination. So basically, I'm having lots of stuff from them, like inspiration, and also they're like, "Oh, you made Baba Yaga. She's so sweet." And I said, "Okay,
That wasn't the idea.
back to the drawing board." So I made the Baba Yaga with the finger up, and when she saw it, she was like, she didn't sleep that night. And I nailed it. So actually, but don't worry, that's Danica. She wants to be a witcher when she grows up. So, so that's it. So that's it. Is there any questions more or something?
I don't know, guys. Do you wanna ask any questions to Sasha? Surely there must be 1 or 2. Anybody got any?
I forget this. I'm really, really sorry. I'm very.
Hold on 1 second, Sasha.
Okay. Sorry.
Becca, go ahead.
You might have mentioned this before, but when you use KeyShot, so you're using high poly models?
Please,
Yeah,
can you? It's really hard to understand you.
I'll repeat the questions because the
Okay,
students are
okay.
down the back of the classroom. So
Okay.
Rebecca was wondering, when you're using KeyShot, you're using high poly models, right?
Yeah.
Only high poly. You don't go to retopology or anything like that.
No. There's no reason why.
There's no reason to do that, Rebecca, because it's very similar to how Redshift works. You can chuck a lot of topology at it and it'll work.
For example, this Leshy has a 47 million polygons with all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And when it's decimated for 3D printing, it will have all the details that it have now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do, for example, optimization for video game, then in that case I must think. Is it character symmetrical or not?
Mm-hmm.
I must think what's making that character. For example, in this case, I would make just one of these dwarfish-like creatures. Actually, there are one, just with different hairstyles and beards and all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a head. Head will be, on one UV map. I have an asymmetric form, so I will cut it out where camera will not see it. But we have a substance painter, so actually it can cover up. So
yeah, you can paint the scenes.
yeah, so there is no reason why should I do the retopology, and retopology for video games is a much more different between retopology for cinematics and that kind of purpose, which I avoid. I mean, I do it regularly, but it's so boring, it's so hard, and I'm sticking to the concepts and video games and well, cinematics. Yeah.
So some of our students, they are currently working on retopology now, and then we've got tools here like Wrap 3D for doing 3D heads and bodies and stuff. It's got a really good algorithm, it works well. But for characters that are kind of bespoke like this, that are they're not strictly human, when you're retopologizing them, is there any things that you keep in mind for silhouette retention? Like, do you use like 3D Coat instead of Max or Maya, or
No.
any particular tools that you use?
No, I don't use any of that program. There is one mysterious program for topology, and it's marvelous. It's Top Gun.
Ah, yeah.
It's very old, but it's very efficient. He's actually all of the God of War creatures were done retopology in Top Gun.
Okay.
It's very cheap and it's very effective, and making loops, connecting it to the neck and shoulders, and it's a beauty.
So is this what you're using now?
Yeah, I'm using it now. I'm not strictly on one program. I was on a quest to find the most better program for each part of the character creation. For example, for UV mapping, I'm using now Rhythm UV, which is amazing. Really amazing. I mean, I don't have it now, but I will. If you want, I will send you tomorrow the project.
If you send me a link to it, I'll share it with the students.
No, there is no link. I will send you. You have a substance painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send you the project so you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He actually recognized there is there's a split screen. One is a low poly, and from the other side is the 2D where the UV should be placed. So he understands, there is an algorithm that he understands what scale of each particular object on your mecha, robot, creature or something is there. He knows where camera can reach, and sometimes you must make some adjustments, but very rarely, and just hit unwrap. So you have a bunch of islands, all and just click, place it on UV space.
Do you use UDIMs for your characters?
Yeah, also using lots of UDIMs, and that program have also for UDIMs.
Okay, so do you have do you by any chance have a character that you could show us in, let's say, 3D Max or something like that, with the UV template open, just to show how you break up your UV islands?
It will be because now I'm at my parents' house. I have only this. So I have a lot of it. If we can next time, I will gladly show you every single character that I made.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I
bring the external drive just for visualization, I didn't know that we'll need to, enter that kind of stuff. So
Well, we can look at the more technical side of things and the processes that you do.
yeah,
next
yeah,
time.
okay,
That's
okay.
no problem. But if is there any more questions for Sasha before we wrap up? Because it's getting to like 6:45 now, and we're kind of running out of time now. Is there anything else that you'd like to ask?
How did he name his non-human models?
How do you mean?
So a human, you can go, oh, that's Mike.
Oh right, okay. So one of my students here,
Yeah.
he's wondering, where do you come up with the characters' names? Because they're very unique, and not only that, they're hard to pronounce as well. But obviously that's because of Slavic language. But
Yeah, actually, my first, I don't want to say love, but my first interest is creating the letters, creating the Serbian language, as your professor know, it's a phonetical language. So each letter has its voice, and it's very easy for making a completely different word sentences and to be. But for this particular project, for other projects, I really like to enter the characters. And to enter the characters, for example, dwarves, which are protagonists, they must have languages. And also, I was something like there must be some kind of the same, that's the same language, but different accent, just like Irish and British, so something like that. I really like that. That's the one. That's the one of the part. Just one part of entering the stuff that you make.
But it's a good point that you make, Sasha, because the more you immerse yourself in your story and identify with your characters, the more it makes you want to complete the characters and want them to be.
Yeah, I oftenly tell to my students that imagine yourself, not when you were, with the students, but when you want to create something. Imagine yourself as a creator. Imagine yourself as demiurge. You can imagine everything you like. You can imagine, you can create a religion. You can create legends. Not just, we are not talking just like we are making a, giant. I mean, there is a lot of fucking giants, sorry. There's a lot of giants everywhere, and orcs and all other things. But the thing that will divide you from the rest is that you are entering that world. You are creating that world of characters, continents, and all that things. That's your world, and you are complete master of it. You can destroy things. You can recreate them. You can create religion. You can create anything, and that's also helps you to create visually to create a character. How he will look like. For example, this one. This is Zaz. That's his name. They have no females, and they are not gays. And you are wondering how. I was reading something, I don't know why, and I just read something about mitosis. So every single Zaz, okay, I don't want to say Zaz, that's his name. I will keep the name Orc. On his back, he had something like a fetus that is growing on his back. And their lifespan is somewhere about 34 or 40 years old. And that fetus is actually him. So when the fetus is growing up, he had memories, he had everything, you know, he's totally capable for. So the old body dies, and he just pick up. You know, I will show you those are those guys. So actually, that's never mentioned anywhere. For example, to have orcs to be, you know, reproduced by mitosis or something. So that's why why is that important? The important is because all of the armor that they have are placed on the back, and and that gives them specific silhouette. So we have lore, we have a character, we have a legend behind it, and that's it.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody else?
Yeah, this is just one moment, please.
Yeah,
This is Hendan, son of Hur. This is the king of the man. There is very little scarce of men in this lore, and somehow I didn't like him because it's too much like Prince on the White Horse. You know, I had those fancy pauldrons, fancy sword, and everything else. So in this lore, I made this king, one woman of one of the, let's say, Jarl or Huskarl of one village, and in a battle, he kills him, and this becomes king. So he's a peasant. He has a simple horse. He has nothing else, but only fancy thing that he has is that sword. So basically that's that. And this is also I go. The humans are known as Aedians, not humans. So basically, this is they're only living on these 3 islands, and the beautiful thing about all this and why I love to do this, it's you never know what will happen next, and that includes making the you know characters, creatures, and all other things. So. Basically, this is I was crazy enough to, you know, just make the you know bloodline of humans. What happened to them? The blue is female side. The red one was the ruler side. The green one is who is a green. He's a bastard. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So actually, that bastard killed the rightful ruler, so he had this. So basically, and all of this that you can see, I actually do it in spare time. Not spare time. Actually, did in spare time. Actually, I was need to just make that guy who was on chain. But you remember that guy.
I think it's important to note that you make time for it.
Yeah, but somehow I just, you know, start thinking about it. start, how to do this, how to do that, what will be if I do this.
Generate interest, yeah.
In generally, from one character, I created a bunch of fucking stuffs, and I plan to. I'm really sorry on my word. I'm planning it to place it on Kickstarter. So actually, this is one of the I like to represent them as something like painted pictures or something.
Yeah, with portraits. Yeah, well, look, I think because it's coming up close to 7 o'clock our time, people are going to want to get home. So, but I really thank you for talking to us. But also, we really wish you well with your work on Svargard, and I hope it really works out for you. But yeah, thanks again for talking to us, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that you speak to us. And we'd love to see the development as you go. So yeah, make sure. I mean, we'll keep in touch as we're friends and stuff. But I'll keep the students updated with all of your work as well. But we're really thankful for you talking to us. Okay.
No problem at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll catch up soon. Okay, Sasha. So we'll sign off for now. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
He's legendary, that boy. Some amount of work he does, isn't it?
He didn't answer the what happens when